Good evening. A disaster overseas is hitting close to home for a Saskatoon man. His relatives were caught in the aftermath of the earthquake and tsunami in Samoa earlier this week. And as Mark Rogstad reports, it's left him in a desperate attempt to reach his loved ones. It's the second time this week that temperatures across the province have shattered their previous record. Makes it really difficult to believe it's fall. Oil sands development could mean jobs for a region plagued by high unemployment, but environmentalists warn that if it's done wrong, it could mean problems like acid rain and groundwater contamination. They say they do not want a rerun of the Alberta experience. A coalition of Saskatchewan students existed a couple of years ago, but fell through. This time, the students want it done right for now and for future generations who will walk through these doors. Animal protection officers carry digital thermometers to gauge the temperature inside vehicles. Today is a cooler day, but this vehicle is already too deadly for any animal. VetiVision is really an opportunity for aspiring veterinarians to get a feel for the industry. Despite the frigid air, organizers hope that they'll break last year's record that's seen over 22,000 participants for InMotion's Ginormous Walk. Darcy Carrier, CTV News, Saskatoon. The Métis Nation Saskatchewan held a news conference to announce they are debt-free, a big accomplishment for an organization that 2 years ago was nearly finished. Flawed elections and spending problems had led to funding cuts and strained relations.
When you look back at 2007, the Métis Nation, as a nation, was at its lowest point, and nobody wanted to talk to us. There were no doors open. We had no relationship or very limited amount of contact with both levels of government.
The organization's $1.8 million debt is gone, but it's taken some drastic measures, like selling its Saskatoon office building. Now, Doucette wants to start doing things differently. For example, the organization turned a profit on the recent Back to Batoche days.
And so now we're creating a company, and that company is there to utilize that land to create revenue for our government, but also to build up on that site.
They have yet to find a new head office, but are hopeful of better days. They are not alone. 2 years ago, the Federation of Saskatchewan Indian Nations was close to bankruptcy. Now, the FSIN has recorded its second year with a surplus and has slashed its debt from $1.6 million down to $1 million.
Tough decisions, tightened the belt, and it's been tough, but we think we're a better organization today because of it.
The FSIN hopes to wipe out their debt completely in 4 years, and both groups say that better financial health means more confidence in Aboriginal governments. Darcy Carrier, CTV News, Saskatoon. Stan Bierling has gone back to driving his gravel truck because his old age pension has been cut by over $300 a month. No one, including his NP, has been able to explain it. Bierling, who is 70, is left trying to pay the bills.
It kind of puts the squeeze on you, so consequently I had to go back to work in order to make a living because you know, everything's gone up and everything, and yet the old age pension is going down.
Bierling is not alone. Richard Colley noticed cuts to his pension months ago. Since then, he has talked to dozens of seniors who have had similar stories. He's found the problem was so widespread, he started a petition.
I feel something is terribly wrong, you know, plus the fact that I know it's not just me.
Seniors tell CTV the deductions vary, anywhere from a few dollars to as much as $700 a month. For some, it's been devastating, but they are afraid to talk on camera. They've consulted accountants, local MPs, and the federal government, and are still left in the dark. Colley has taken his petition to senior homes around the city. He spoke with one couple who is forced to move out of their seniors complex because they can no longer afford the rent due to deductions made on their old age pension checks. The Minister of Resources, who has a hand in the Canada Pension Plan, says she hasn't heard of the problem and is urging MPs to contact her if their constituents are having problems.
We want to make sure that our seniors who are dependent upon the GIS get all that they're entitled to.
Colley says it's the same kind of answer he's been getting for weeks.
And I have no idea where they're getting their figures from. Why don't they clarify it? There was no letters sent out warning these people. This was done just on the spur of the moment.
Cawley says seniors plan to demonstrate at a town meeting Thursday evening in Saskatoon, with at least one MP, Kelly Block, on hand. He thinks going public is the only way the issue is going to get resolved. Darcy Carrier, CTV News, Saskatoon. It may just look like any cornfield, but it's what's inside that's truly amazing.
Go to your left.
8 acres of twists, turns, and dead ends. A good learning tool for coworkers like this group to work together.
You rely on other people, you follow them, and they follow you, and you get through it at the end.
The Ministry of Youth Farm Bible Camp added this attraction to their site 2 years ago. The money made goes to the camp, which includes summer programs for youth and year-round programs for adults with disabilities. Designing the maze is a challenge in itself, or is it?
So I just take our lawnmower once we are ready to cut it, and when it's about 1 foot in, we take a 6 foot lawnmower and just run through and make the paths and try to confuse people along the way.
It may just be a randomly mowed down cornfield, but it's harder than it looks. Mark's advice? Take every right-hand turn you can.
Families have been stalking the winding paths all summer, and that's been good news for Mark.
This is something that helps attract people to our camp and also brings some money into our ministry,
which will help next year's camp be a success and hopefully many more to come. Darcy Carrier, CTV News, near Rostern. Still to come, providing a head start to youth in need, and later, taking a hands-on approach to veterinary medicine.